Yo! Welcome to another edition of Man Simulation. We are up to week 15, no 16 of the NFL regular season. Last week, week 15, Man did not get it right, unfortunately. Unsuccessfully they predicted Denver over Cincinnati, which did not happen. Cincinnati took care of business, and they are now 8-8. This week, we are going out to the desert for a Christmas matchup as the NFC West
Madden NFL 22 on
Arizona Cardinals host the AFC South wildcard potential Indianapolis Colts. So, we'll have a Christmas showdown. The second game of a doubleheader on Christmas Day, the other one being the Green Bay Packers hosting the Cleveland Browns. So let's sit back, relax, see if Man can get this one right and have a showdown. Unfortunately, like you can see Andre Hopkins right there. We know Hopkins is done for the regular season at least, and he might be back for the postseason. But can't help it what Man gives me. So yeah, right now Man is 8-8. Hasn't been doing so well lately. So we'll see how this goes. The Indianapolis Colts will take a look how they got to where they are today, and how that's because of one name known as Jonathan Taylor. And how the Arizona Cardinals, how they start so hot and have tapered off as of late.
If you really dive into it, it can be endlessly fascinating.
So Arizona gets the ball first, it looks like. Adjust my seat. There we go. So how about let's start off with, let's take a look back of how Arizona got to where they are and how unfortunate they have been as of late. Because, I mean, the Arizona Cardinals, they started off strong. They started hot. You know, unexpectedly, they started the season, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They started season 7-0 by, beating Tennessee, Minnesota, Jacksonville, LA Rams, San Francisco, Cleveland, and Houston. And then came the infamous Thursday night game out in the desert, Green Bay versus Arizona. And it came down to the nitty-gritty. And thankfully for the Green Bay Packers and wide receiver A.J. Green wasn't paying that close attention. He thought the Cardinals were running a different play, and all of a sudden he wasn't paying attention, and a former practice squad member for the Arizona Cardinals, Rasul Douglas, who was paying attention on the play, intercepted the ball, and game was over. And a folk hero was born in Rasul Douglas. But anyways, so they started off 7-1 after the first 2 months of the season. But then they got back on the winning ways, beat San Francisco, but then they ran into Carolina. And just I don't know what happened. The return of Cam Newton maybe to the Panthers, and they just faltered. But I mean, Kyle Murray got hurt in that Packer game. So he had a bum ankle, and I think he was out for that game. But they just underperformed. They got shellackled by the Panthers. But then they won 2 more games, beating the Seahawks and the Bears. But then Monday night, they on December 13th, 2 weeks ago, they lost to division rival the Rams. And then just, I don't know what happened last week, got beat in Detroit. Oh, I gotta sneeze, but it ain't coming. So anyways, just a shocker there. And so now Arizona sits at, is it 4 losses, 10-4? Sounds about right. And they sit at 10-4, tied with the Rams, but have a better division record. So that's how we got to where we are right now. Oh boy. And so now we're out here they're taking on the Colts, and the Colts, they're a little surprised in my opinion, because oh man, I think I had them only winning like, I don't know, 4 games.
From the red zone, here's the Heisman Trophy winner Murray.
I mean, let's see.
And a good gain here of 9 from the 19 down to the 10.
I originally had Indianapolis, 4-13. So they've won 4 more games than I thought originally, but I don't know. We'll revisit my preseason predictions when we get to a wild card weekend, but that's 4 weeks away, 3 weeks away, something like that. We have 3 weeks left of the regular season, and it doesn't feel like it. Oh, come on, Murray. You could have got a touchdown there. Anyways, excuse me. Turn that down just a bit. Anyway, so Indianapolis, they started off the way I thought they would start off, with losses to Seattle, LA, Rams, and Tennessee. So they were 0-3 to start the season. But they beat the Dolphins. But then they lost to Baltimore. But then they gave a shellacking to Houston. They beat San Francisco. And San Francisco is another team that's been up and down, up and down. I don't think they're... Well, when we get to the standings, we'll see where San Francisco's at. I think they might be 8-6 or 7-7, 1 or 2. No, they can't be 7-7. It'd be either 8-6, 7. No, they could be 7-7. What am I thinking of? But they beat San Francisco. Then they went to overtime with Tennessee, and I think that's when the tides start turning for Indianapolis, more or less. Because then they beat the Jets, they beat the Jacksonville, they put a shellacking on Buffalo. And that was the big, whoa, shocker there, beating Buffalo. And then they just played poorly in the second half against Tampa Bay. But then they haven't lost since, winning 2 straight. Shutting out the Texans and beating New England last Saturday. Mainly because of their leading rusher, Jonathan Taylor, who leads the league with 15-18. And, hypothetically speaking, with 3 games left, I mean, he could reach the 2,000 mark, and I don't think what is it? Regular.
The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it. Colts offense ready to go here.
Let's see if this gets me anything.
Philadelphia Eagle turned Indianapolis Colt Carson Wentz set to take over here at the controls in his first year in Indianapolis.
Let's do this. Eric Dickerson.
Not one that he wants to remember.
That'll tell me.
Now reunited with his former offensive coordinator and
2,105 yards. And I don't think they how many games were in the 1984 NFL regular season? Oh boy, this looks like it's going to be a... This looks like it's going to be a one-sided effect, but hey, it's still a long game. Come on, I clicked on that.
Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands to try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
We'll be singing in the shower post-game.
Okay, no, they played 16 games back then. Okay. So.
Prater on and the extra point.
And just like that, Arizona's up 14-0. So yeah, that's how both teams got to where they are today. Arizona, they're just one win away of clinching a playoff berth. Indianapolis, they might be in the playoffs. When we get to looking at the standings in the second quarter, we'll double check. But they're one of the teams that are on the inside, they're on the inside track. And with MVP candidate Jonathan Taylor,
and you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kicks
obviously they're. Let's take a look at the rest of their season real quick. Both teams, starting with Indianapolis, should have done it.
Second drive coming up here for the Indianapolis Colts, and let's just say they're going to be
looking to start
over on this drive.
They have Arizona they go to Arizona this weekend, which is Arizona's a 1-point favorite. But they host Las Vegas, who's also playing for a playoff spot. And then they had the Jacksonville at the end of the season. I mean, they should beat Jacksonville, you'd think. And I mean, in all honesty, Arizona needs to jump out to an early lead, so Indianapolis can't rely on the running game. And at the moment, yes, Indianapolis is the first wild card. So they would make the playoffs if they were healthy. See, here's Jonathan Taylor. Oh, look at that speed. Look at him go. Cutting back. Oh, I don't know why he would cut back in. He would just run along the sideline. He would have been down to 20-10. And believe me, I know how damn good Jonathan Taylor is. Watching him play at Wisconsin for 3 years, I mean, he was just a thing of beauty when it comes to this breaking speed. And I'm more of a speed guy when it comes to running back than a bruiser, but they're both just as good. If you can have, Derrick Henry, sad that he is down and out at the moment, but but then you have a play like that. And you have a play like that, which always happens. I mean, you can't always get that breakaway speed like that. And you're always going to get stopped 9 times out of 10. But the one time that you can find that hole and break away, you got to make them pay. And I know Jonathan Taylor had a decent rookie season. Down goes Wentz.
And the pressure will bring him down here. The Cardinals get home for the sack. Jordan Phillips, credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Well, you're already up a couple of scores in the first half defensively, and Charles, they just seem to be playing really free on that side.
Right, too much of that. I was watching that second half of that Tampa Bay Indianapolis game. It's just like, come on. What? Anywho, Arizona's last 3 games. We know they're hosting Indianapolis. Then they head to Dallas, which I plan on. That's going to be one I'm planning on simulating next week. Oh my goodness.
And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep.
And then they host Seattle. And right now, Arizona and Dallas are tied at 10-4. They are fighting for. They still have a chance for the #1 seed. But let's see. Oh no. We'll get to that in a little bit, anyways. But anyway, so yeah, I'm expecting this to be a good game. You would think, especially how. Oh, that's a crappy kick. I mean, how Indianapolis has been playing. You expect this to be a good game, and you know what type of team Arizona's going to show up lately. I mean, nothing against the Detroit Lions, okay? They're feisty. They're super feisty. There's a lot of games Detroit should have won early in the season before they won their first one and before they won their second one, and in dominant fashion. Okay? But Arizona is having that late season collapse, and that's the wrong time to fall apart. I mean, you can look at the beginning of the season. Okay, which team started off hot, and where are they now? I mean, Buffalo lost week 1, but then they got on a hot streak, and now they have simmered off. Arizona 7 in a row, and now they have simmered off, and vice versa. Look at Kansas City. Okay, they won 7 in a row, and I think they were 3-4 at one point. Miami, the Dolphins, have won 6 or 7 in a row. Cincinnati has started off hot, but they've simmered off. Same thing with Baltimore. It's just when you rather get hot late than start the season off hot. I mean, take the Packers for example. They've been consistent. They had a little hiccup in the month of November, which seems to be their downfall. Once the calendar turns to November, it's like, oh boy, got 4 or 5 games. They'll go 3-2 or 2-2. They just get that hiccup, that mid-season. We need a break, this and that.
For the Colts, an extra defensive back in there now on 3rd down. Murray now to throw.
3rd and 12. Oh, intercepted. He's at the 40, the 35. Excellent field position. Yeah, change that momentum meter. But let's finally get to the taboo. Well, I was talking a little bit about last week. COVID. And how we had 3 games rescheduled last week. I want to know, is it just because it's that time of the year that it's getting colder outside, people are, staying, not really staying in, gathering more? Because the holidays, we just had Thanksgiving here in the States. It's getting close to Christmas. I mean, we just had Hanukkah a few weeks ago. I mean, what is it? Why are we getting so many COVID cases? Run the ball, Indianapolis. If you don't give the ball to your best player, you're not going to win. And
that is the third sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that.
But anyways, all the sports leagues, the whole country is getting hammered with COVID cases. But, I mean, if you're... Oh, look at that. Oh, he got 8 yards back. I mean, if you're in good health, good shape, and, I mean, let's be honest, it affects everyone differently, okay? And it doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not. There's been plenty of people who've never smoked their entire lives and never been around a smoker and somehow get lung cancer. Okay? Just happens. We all know shit happens. But you want let's say this real quick. You want to get vaccinated? Get vaccinated. If you don't, well, don't. Oh, excuse me. And, you know, now you got Omicron and this and that and so forth. But, anyways, teams are being riddled, and they're like, nope, beginning of the season. Oh, that should have been picked off. The NFL's like, we are not rescheduling games, okay? Get vaccinated, or if you don't have enough players, sorry, but you're going to have to face the consequences and forfeit the game. 4 months later, who wants Tuesday Night Football?
Wentz going to give this to Taylor. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no game
So,
on the run there. Looking at a third down. He shows you right there. He can do more than just.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to see any forfeits. It'd be funny. Be interesting. But oh, there's that gone. But I mean, oh, he's intercepted. And of course, Carson Wentz gets his own. Turn that down some more.
So more problems here in this first quarter. Already 2 scores down, and here they give away the football.
And if I'm the head coach, I think it's time to start lighting a fire under some of these guys. Now you have to do it within your
No, I don't think. I can see Carson Wentz throwing interceptions, this and that, but I mean, I think they can be a little more cautious and patient, especially if they're able to develop a running game. I don't see Indianapolis to start off like, let's throw the ball right away. But going back to whole, you know, we had 3 games rescheduled. We had Las Vegas and Cleveland, and they were supposed to play last Saturday. And Cleveland plays this Saturday again against Green Bay, and they've had a short week. They 4 days off until the game, so 5 days between games. Oh, we'll do 4 days. Say 4 days. Okay. And then the other 2 games were Seattle at LA, taking on the Rams. Oof. And Washington at Philadelphia. And all 4 of those teams play Sunday. So that's another 4 days off for them. And Washington has about an even spread because they play Sunday night at Dallas. And the thing is, all those teams are in the playoff hunt, and so all these games matter. So they don't want them to forfeit. They don't want them to. Well, like I said, they don't want them to forfeit. They don't want to lose that revenue. And so now they're signing a bunch of players off the streets and like, hey, can you play football? Unlike what happened in Tampa Bay, where they lost a wide receiver, lost a running back, lost everything, and then Tom Brady's like, you can't tackle at the knees. I mean, look what happened to me in 08. And then look what happened to Godwin. The ACL tour and all that. We gotta play 2 in touch. Or something like that, I think.
Yeah, right now you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm gonna have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
There's a lot of things now. Look at that time. And then
Gets through and now an opening. And he works it past the 30.
I don't know about that.
25.
In the quarter. Yeah, 4 run plays. 8 pass plays. Well, okay, but I mean it should be the other way around. 8 runs and 4 passes.
Second quarter action. It's the Cardinals in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Murray.
Oh.
Force it to Hopkins and it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And the Colts will have the football as this is taken up past the 30.
But that's the kind of interception that can save a game right there. They're already down 2 scores. Huge play, slowing down what was going against them.
I was thinking the same thing. You get down 3 scores there at this stage, could be in for a long ball game. Carson Wentz and the Colt offense ready to go back to work. He's got a
Oh boy. And then let's see what else is in the the Pro Bowl. Oh boy. Should I go over the Pro Bowl rosters? Yeah, I'll probably run that real quick and then get to the standings. And in a lot, well, we know that the 2 teams in the Super Bowl aren't going to play in the Pro Bowl. They haven't done that in 10 years. Is that when they moved the game?
They'll run with Taylor to begin the drive. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first
and
drives. They're not just holding the line.
When it comes to the Pro Bowl, it's just I do feel like it's more like a popularity contest. And how many people don't go to it? And how many people just, like, who really watches it? They try to switch up a little bit where they drafted players and just that didn't really work. So,
The loss of a yard there to start out. Leads to a 2nd and 11.
dry hands.
Working from the gun, Wentz.
I don't know who he was throwing that to.
But it's incomplete.
But let's see if I can find it. Is this the and Indianapolis leads the way with 7 Pro Bowlers. So I mean, come on. We all know John Taylor, he's a Pro Bowler, but who else? So here we go. This is what what's this? Okay. And yeah, I'm surprised. So 6 teams had 0 players selected. Denver, Detroit, Houston, Jacksonville, and New York, the Jets, and the Giants. And I think I want to say it's Major League Baseball where you have to have at least 1 representative. Which is stupid in my mind. I mean, yes, every team should have a Pro Bowler to some extent, but let's be real. It's not going to happen. Not everyone is worthy enough. It's like just as bad as a wrestling event. WWE shoving all their wrestlers on their main show just because it's their main show. It's like, no, put your best of the best out there. But anyways, this is what we got. On the AFC side, we got Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes. Wide receivers, Keenan Allen, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, and Tyreek Hill. Running backs, Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon, and Jonathan Taylor. Fullback, Patrick Richard, which I think he's probably the only fullback in the AFC, maybe. Tight ends, Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce. Tackles, Orlando Brown Jr., Deion Dawkinson, and Rashad Slater. Guards, Joel Bettino, Quentin Nelson, and Wyatt Teller. Centers, Ryan Kelly and Corey Linsley. Interior linemen, DeForest Buckner, Cameron Hayward, and Chris Jones. Outside linebackers, Joey Bosa, Matthew Judon, and T.J. Watt. Quarterbacks, Xavier Howard, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, J.C. Jackson, and Kenny Moore, and Denzel Ward. Man, just like free safety, Kevin Byard. Strong safety, Derwin James and Tyrann Mathieu. Punter, A.J. Cole. Place kicker, Justin Tucker. Long snapper, Luke Rhodes. And return specialist, Devin DuVernay. Oh, man. I hate trying to pronounce names. And special teamer, Matthew Slater. On the NFC side, you have Tom Brady, Kyle Murray, and Aaron Rodgers. Wide receivers, Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, and Deebo Samuel. Running backs, Alvin Kamara, James Conner, and Dalvin Cook. Fullback, Kyle Jazowski. He used to play for the Ravens. Tight end, George Kittle and Kyle Pitts. Tackles, Tyron Smith and Trent Williams, Tristan Whiffers. Guards, Ali Marpet, Zach Martin, and Brandon Schaefer. Center, Ryan Jensen, Jason Kellett. Defensive end, Nick Bosa, Brian Burns, and Cameron Jordan. Interior lineman, Jonathan Allen, Kenny Clark, Aaron Donald. Outside linebacker, Shaquille Barrett, Chandler Jones, and Robert Quinn. Inside middle linebacker, Micah Parsons and Bobby Wagner. Cornerbacks, Trayvon Diggs, Marshawn Lattimore, Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay. Free safety, Wandir Diggs. Strong safety, Buda Baker, Harrison Smith. Punter, Brian Angers. Come on. That should have been Paporkis. I can't pronounce. Place kicker, Matt Gay. Long snapper, Josh Harrison. Return specialist, Jakeem Grant Sr. And special teamer, JT Gray. So there you go. That's your Pro Bowl roster at the moment. So yeah. I'll see how the rest of this drive goes, and then we'll dive into the standings. See if Arizona can go up 21-0. Well, they're up by 20 now. And I mean, this is one reason why I felt Indianapolis wasn't that good at the beginning of the season. You know, I had them only winning 4 games, and they're just, you know, I don't know about rebuilding, but you had issues with Carson Wentz. I mean, they did make the playoffs last year because they played at Buffalo in the wild card. Because I remember oh, what's his name? Played for the Chargers. Why can't I think of his name? He has like 20 kids. That's gonna eat me up. And he was traded. He was drafted by the Giants because Eli Manning was drafted by the. Oh man. Why can't I think of his name?
The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it.
Let's see.
It's time for our players spotlight right now as we get a look at Carson Wentz. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected?
I'm white. Philip Rivers. How did I forget his name? You know. So, and I thought they were going to have a setback, but thanks to Jonathan Taylor, I mean. See, look, oh man, oh. Oh. So let's take a look at the standings in a minute. See, look, 2nd and 4. They hand the ball off back to Taylor. Look at that hole, elusive. Oh man, that. Oh. I just don't think the running backs get the love they deserve anymore. And I mean, it's unfortunately it's what have you done for me lately. So okay.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, there's no way he would have been gone. There's no way those afterburners were kicked in and. Boom. So let's do this. Let's go look in the standings, as we usually do. This is another reason why I use this game. I know I said I was going to get to the standings, but just watching Jonathan Taylor run is a thing of beauty.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Now.
It's complete here to
So okay, here we go. In the AFC. We have New England at 9-5. They're what? I forget what. Their winning streak came to an end last week. Then you have the Buffalo Bills 8-6. Miami 7-7, winning 6 in a row. So they were 1-7. What? How is you 1-7 and now you're on the cup of outside of the playoff hunt? And then. But then you get the New York Jets at 3-11. In the AFC North, you have the Cincinnati Bengals back on top at 8-6. Baltimore 8-6. Pittsburgh at 7-6-1, nipping at the heels of those two teams. And Cleveland at 7-7 and 10 rushes for 90 yards.
That's a nice run right there.
And so the AFC North is one of two divisions that don't have a losing record. None of the teams in the four teams don't have a losing record, and we've never had a season, especially when they did the realignment, have had a division with all four teams without a losing record.
Taylor fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out.
Okay. It's like, no, there's no way Jonathan Taylor fumbles. But anyways, in Cleveland, 7-7. So, yeah. Then the AFC South, we have Tennessee, 9-5. They have struggled since Derrick Henry got hurt. Then you have Indianapolis, 8-6. 3 games left. They could finish 11-6.
Very fortunate to get another shot. Here's second and goal.
Touchdown. Oh, John Taylor does all that work and no reward. But okay, so Indianapolis is 8-6. Then you got Houston 3-11 and Jacksonville at 2-12. Excuse me. Then out west, AFC West, we have Kansas City 10-4, who have won 7 in a row. And I think that's the longest streak of the season, is team winning 7 games in a row. And then you have the LA Chargers at 8-6, Las Vegas at 7-7, and Denver at 7-7. So you have 8 teams in the AFC, 2 divisions. They're all at 500 or better. Well, you only have 3 teams in the AFC with losing records. So that means the other 13, you have 13 teams at 500 or better. It's not going to finish that way with how the season's coming down, but it's ridiculous. The AFC is ridiculous this year. And I mean, did that extra game make that much of a difference? I don't know. And it is an interconference game, so. Then we move to the NFC. Out east, them Cowboys, they still lead the East at 10-4. They're on a 3-game win streak. Right behind them, not too far behind, are the Eagles at 7-7. But then you have Washington at 6-8 and the New York Giants at 4-10. Then the NFC North, which is all wrapped up after last week. The Green Bay Packers are at 11-3. They have won 3 in a row. Followed by Minnesota at 7-7. Then Chicago at 4-10. And Detroit at 2-11-1. Tampa Bay leads the South somehow still at 10-4. With New Orleans right behind them. If New Orleans would win New Orleans would win their last 3 and Tampa Bay loses their next 3, for some reason I don't see that happening in all honesty, but New Orleans would win the South. Excuse me for a second. Woo! There's a big sneeze. There's the sneeze I was looking for. But yeah, New Orleans swept Tampa Bay again. Explain that to me. But then they can't beat them in the playoffs. They're 7-7. Atlanta 6-8. Carolina 5-9. And out west in the NFC, you have Arizona at 10-4, leading the division at the moment. LA Rams at 10-4. San Francisco at 8-6, and Seattle at 5-9. Excuse me. Oh man, there's so much freaking mucus.
Working with 2nd and 5 now. Here's Murray as he Sets to throw it.
Oh,
Knocked away.
almost picked off.
Fielded incomplete. That is the first time they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way. A dominant pass receiver that can break down defense because
Let's hope this Lawson helps.
it really hurts you on the back end.
But then, yeah, there you go. Seattle, that's the standings. Playoffs.
Cardinals on third
We'll look at the
down.
playoff standings.
Good. 3 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. To throw, it's Murray.
They got him. Oh, he's out of the pocket.
Pressure right.
He slid short. That's be 4th and 1.
The scrimmage and then slides to
4th and inches.
5 yards that time.
There's no way he would.
But now they're looking at a
In real life, he would not have slid. He would ran along the sideline,
But let's face it, he
extend the ball,
really stressful spot when he
and they're
takes
going for it.
runs, because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
good job of rallying though, because I thought when he first took off he might pick up the first
And they got it right there.
And he's gonna have it first
So
as he's
this is what play. Well, that's probably the last play before 2-1. This is what the playoff picture looks like as of now. In the AFC, you have Kansas City at 10 and 4. They would have the first round bye once again. Then you have New England, Tennessee, and Cincinnati as your other 3 division leaders.
2 minutes remaining
And
in this
your
first
3 wild cards will be Indianapolis, LA Chargers, and Buffalo. And then that's you have 6 other teams at 500
A reminder that when halftime
or better.
rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights
Baltimore
and
8
analysis of this
6,
first
Pittsburgh
half.
7 6 and 1,
Studios in Orlando.
Las Vegas 7-7, Miami 7-7, Cleveland 7-7, and Denver at 7-7. All hunting for a playoff spot. This is ridiculous. While the Jets, Houston, and Jacksonville are all on the outside and not looking in. They're done. They've been eliminated. And Jacksonville, in fact, they are on the clock once again. Since Detroit won their second game and they're 2-11-1, that's a better record than 2-12.
Throwing on first down is Murray. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted.
Wow. Now Indianapolis has a minute and a half to get back on the board.
At their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, those 3 teams are eliminated. Jacksonville's on the clock. And then on the NFC side, Green Bay. Green Bay with the best record in all of football with 11-3. They have the number 1 seed at the moment, and the NFC North wrapped up, like I said. Okay, 11-3. Next, your other 3 division leaders are Dallas, Tampa Bay, and Arizona, all at 10-4. And Dallas has the best conference record at 8-1. That's why they would have the number 2 seed over Tampa Bay and Arizona. And the thing is, Tampa Bay beat Dallas, but with Arizona thrown in the mix, they have a 3-way tie, so you have to factor in that tiebreaker. But then you have LA Rams, San Francisco, and Minnesota rounding up the wild card spots. And I know I had all 4 NFC West teams in the playoffs. So seeing 3 of the 4, I'm not surprised. But Minnesota wins the tiebreaker over Philly and New Orleans. They win the tiebreaker over Philly based on percentage of common games, and tiebreaker over New Orleans because of conference records. What is that? It just looked like the ball shot up in the air. That flag was thrown before he even got hit. So, okay, Minnesota is in, but Philly, New Orleans, they're 7-7. They're on the outside looking in. Washington, Atlanta, 6-8. They're on the outside looking in. Carolina, Seattle, they're 5-9. They're on the outside looking. And the New York Giants, they're still mathematically alive at 4-10. Unlike the Chicago Bears, who are 4-10, they lose the tiebreaker to the Giants. They have been eliminated. The Lions, they've been eliminated. And so, I'm sure the Giants will be eliminated after a loss or someone else wins. They would have to go 7-10. Everyone else, I don't know. Minnesota will have to lose out. Philadelphia has to lose out. New Orleans has to lose out. Washington has to lose out. well, that's the thing. After this weekend,
Wentz now to throw.
all right, the playoff picture in the NFC, in my opinion, is going to clear up.
Bring him down.
Because a Giants loss, they're out.
Second of their timeouts.
Seattle, if they go down to 5-10,
Seconds to go in the first half.
and if Minnesota, Philadelphia, and New Orleans all win, yeah, they'd be eliminated. So Seattle, okay, New York, Seattle, Carolina can all be eliminated as long as New Orleans, Philly, and Minnesota win.
On third down,
But Atlanta and Washington are still alive. So the playoff picture is going to get cleared up a little bit in the NFC for sure after this weekend, by the looks of it.
stop it here. Just under 40 ticks to go in this first half.
League, yeah. So if this is what this is what draft order looks like. Jacksonville would have the 1 seed. Detroit 2, their first pick, second pick, third pick Houston. Now I don't know if there's trades involved. You know, New York Jets and Chicago. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'd be top 5 picks, unless they trade their picks away to some other team, and then well, they're lucky. So yeah. After halftime, we'll look at playoff scenarios and clinchers. We got 31 seconds.
Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10.
If they can move this ball.
The interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he's brought down, getting this one.
And since they use a timeout, 10 seconds are going to come off that clock, and it's going to be,
Certainly no settling into
10 seconds left unless they're like, timeout.
the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
Why not just run the ball then if you're not going to call timeout? Seven seconds, yeah. 6.
A final shot before half from Murray. And he finds his
Why?
teammate.
Okay, well, I got to refill up my water, use the bathroom, and enjoy halftime.
Past the 50. So we reach halftime here in Glendale with the Cardinals on top. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First, though, a check of the next-gen stats in that first half for the Colts. And even though they've got work to do on the scoreboard, their running game has been solid. Over 100 yards rushing in that first half. Meanwhile, for the Cardinals, you get a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And whatever they've done, it's worked, as they have the lead through 2 quarters of play.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Colts getting the football first, and they trail here as we are back underway in quarter number 3. Rodgers going to return it from his end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. And they trail here to begin the second half. What's going to be a key for them to get back in the game?
I think they're right there, and I think this game is still up for the taking for them. We always talk about turnovers. They had 2 of them.
Okay, so it looks like I only missed the second half kickoff, which is normal.
You know, it's beyond difficult to try and win a football game with that. Those have to be.
Let's see how this opening drive goes for Indianapolis.
Still got a shot.
That's the one thing I hate about winter months. Oh, there, no.
He goes across the 20 to the 22. 5 yards on the
Dang winter months.
Carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient.
Dried, cracked hands.
Let everything develop and then burst through for big gains.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Oh,
Naeem Hines, his first
come on. He was.
dropped just before the line.
I don't know.
4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Yeah?
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll try and run for the
Nice
first and 10.
spin.
And he's able to get it to the 30.
Like I said, I just love watching Jonathan Taylor.
180 yards for
I'm not sure if I've said this on this or not. I think I mentioned it last week because we did Denver and Melvin Gordon plays for the Broncos now. And like, I just want to see success from a Wisconsin running back. Okay? Because they've had so many successful college running backs,
So they'll come up first
but
and 10
have
now.
floundered in the NFL and kind of mediocre. And oh,
And this is going to be a Colts first down as good running gets him to about the 44.
first down.
He had a
He's
race
over
in
100
the
yards.
first half running the football and picking up where he left off here in the 3rd quarter.
How about the yardage he's piling up right now? This feels like a full game, not just this series that we're watching right now. I know people are screaming, where are the adjustments from halftime on the defensive side of the ball? Sometimes they're just not there. Sometimes you just got to find a way to tackle someone.
Just, it's a thing of beauty.
A pair of first downs gives him a first and 10.
And Jonathan Taylor had the most rushing yards in a 3-year span in college football history. And then you have that.
Get to him here. He's brought down for a sack. That'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
I'd say it's not panic time yet, but let's be honest about it. Empty possession here, not what you're looking for when you're down a couple of scores.
Absolutely not. Trying to start the second half off on the right foot. Unfortunately, going to give the ball up. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Another try after the first down sack. Wentz.
Cross his body, and it's going to get intercepted. Oh, okay, deflected.
And that could be complete.
And just like that,
Effort there trying to take
a handful of good runs, and then just wasted, unless they get first down here.
Difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Wentz. He wants it all for the end zone. Got a man, it's Pittman.
Wow, I'm surprised there.
Touchdown.
And just like that, Indianapolis is back in it.
Michael Pittman, 62 yards. And the Colts able to
Just
get
again,
this
like he
back
throws it
for
and the
a
ball just goes
touchdown.
whoop.
I tell you, when Carson Wentz can really step into one and get that 6'5" frame behind it, he can really launch it.
And you'd think on 3rd down they'd just be looking for something right beyond the sticks. And I think they caught the defense flat-footed as a result because they decided they were going to take a shot right there, and it ended up being a big play.
And the final number on Next Gen Stats, how about this? 71 yards through the air.
Sheesh.
Extra point by Badger.
So Indianapolis comes out at halftime,
Cut the lead down to a
and
touchdown.
they get on the board within 7 now.
7 plays in length. And the result for the Colts is a touchdown.
Okay. Let's see if I can find this. What is it? The 2021 NFL season.
Sanchez now, he'll kick it away following the touchdown. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's The Cardinals offense now ready to get their first opportunity here in the second half. And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a one-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a one-score game, they know this is where you need to slow the momentum change, because otherwise that could overrun your team. You got to be careful right here.
Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 15.
Oof.
They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
That's a really good gain right there. They pick up 5 yards halfway to a first down. The only problem now in the huddle, everyone's going to want to touch the football. Be a lot of chattering now because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
Oh.
2nd down and 5.
Come on. Oh, how you missed that? Big 3rd down coming up.
Only to about the 22. He'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a 3rd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner,
Oh, come on.
when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk reward.
That did nothing for me. Okay.
Not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
The coverage unit
NFL week
faking
5.
pass on 3rd and 3.
No. We're in week 16 now. Dang it.
Now Murray.
NFL week 16 playoff scenarios. There we go. Straight from the source, NFL.com.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call it?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called it unreliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle.
No, I don't want a freaking video.
He finds a way to pick
Forget
up the
that.
first
Go
down.
back. Go back. How hard is this?
1st down, Murray.
Shouldn't be that hard.
Davis has it left side. And he gets this up across the 35 before it's out of bounds. That tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting
No, I don't want that.
athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at
Come
one
on.
point. They
Get out of
continue
there.
to give you speed, great hands,
No.
and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Pro football. Oh, look at that.
2nd down, here's an option right.
Oh, geez. Stiff arm by Murray.
And finally brought down at the 43. I'll tell you, there is no
No.
for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react. Even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL, they're still a little bit in disbelief.
There, how about this? Is this going to give me what I want?
The ball, he may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
Why is it so hard to find an article?
Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 43. Here's Murray. Steps away to his left.
All right.
And he slides and covers up. in the
Doesn't
end.
tell me
He's gonna be
anything.
able to pick up decent yardage. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Well, he's proven real effective running the football. No one open.
Here.
Don't force it. Just get what you can, and that's what he's done. very
Good.
well in
This is
game.
what I want. Okay, finally found it. Took me long enough.
And they run the option on 2nd down. Murray, strong running.
The Indianapolis defense isn't doing anything on this drive.
Before he's dropped.
Okay, so playoff clinching scenarios for week 16.
Attrition setting in with this drive, 'cause we
AFC clinched. No one has clinched the playoffs in the AFC
And that's
thus
the
far.
last thing they need, especially when they look
We
up
start
to
off with the number 1 seed currently, Kansas City. They can clinch the AFC West with a win, a Los Angeles Chargers loss or tie, or they tie their game and the Chargers lose. That's how they can win the West. They can make the playoffs with a win. They can clinch a playoff berth with a win. Or they tie and Buffalo loses, or Indianapolis loses, or Cincinnati, Baltimore does not end in a tie. So basically, Kansas City, you win, you're in. And then it looks like the Super Bowl hangover isn't hurting you one bit. New England can clinch the AFC East with a win and a Miami loss or tie, since New England is playing Buffalo, and that's going to be a very interesting game. Wow. And that would not happen this weekend because DeAndre Hopkins is on IR. Anyways, New England can clinch a playoff berth with a win and a Las Vegas loss or tie, and LA Chargers loss, or that's one scenario. They have four more scenarios. I ain't going through them all. Tennessee can clinch the AFC South with a win and an Indianapolis loss. They can clinch a playoff berth with a win and Miami loss or tie, Buffalo loss, Denver loss or tie, Cincinnati loss or tie, and Pittsburgh loss. And there are lots of other scenarios. So, that's it for the AFC. So Tennessee, New England, and Kansas City, there's only 3 teams can clinch playoff berths or clinch their divisions this weekend in the AFC. While on the flip side, on the NFC, clinched the Green Bay Packers. They clinched a playoff berth because they are the NFC North Divisional Champions once again for a 3rd year in a row. And 12th time in 20 years, I do believe. Because the divisions, this is the 20th year of the realignment. This is Houston's 20th season. And I haven't heard anyone talk about that at all. That this is the 20th season of the Houston Texans.
Yeah, you're exactly right, partner. They had a little bounce in their step after scoring that first touchdown, but the defense gave one up, and that's the problem right now. Can they get better play from their defense while they continue to score?
It's been that long. It's been the realignment's been around for 20 years now. Man, I feel old.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. And that one off.
What is it? 2nd and 10. Okay. So, and well, Green Bay can't clinch the 1st round bye as of yet. Arizona they can clinch a playoff berth with 7 different scenarios. First and foremost, win or tie. Win or tie, then they're in. Simple as that. Or a Philly loss or tie and a San Francisco loss. Or Philly lose or tie, Minnesota loses or ties. Or Philly loses or ties, New Orleans loses or ties. Or Minnesota loses or ties, San Francisco loses. Or Minnesota loses or ties, and New Orleans loses or ties. Or New Orleans loses or ties, and San Francisco loses. So basically, if Philadelphia, Minnesota, and San Francisco loses, Arizona's in whether they win or not. Just because with 2 games left and those teams having 7 to 8 losses, they can't catch Arizona in the wild card hunt at least. Dallas can clinch the East with a win or a tie, or a Philly loss or a tie. Dallas can clinch at least a tie in a strength of victory tiebreaker over Philadelphia. Why even put that down as a scenario? They can tie for the East Division. Well, you either win. You either win the division or you lose it based on the tiebreaker procedures. They can at least clinch a playoff berth with New Orleans. This does not involve Dallas at all, whether they win or lose. If New Orleans loses or ties, or San Francisco loses or ties, or Tampa Bay wins or ties. Dallas clinches a playoff berth, which is kind of funky. LA Rams, they can clinch a playoff berth with a win or a tie.
Here's Wentz. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Or Philly loses or ties, New Orleans loses or ties. Same thing with. So basically, if Philly and New Orleans both lose this weekend, then both Arizona and Dallas and the Rams all make the playoffs. So we hypothetically have a scenario where, well, I think we'll have 5 NFC teams in the playoffs after this weekend. Clinch playoff berths. Tampa Bay can clinch a playoff berth, or they can win the South with a win. They win the South, and they are in. Or New Orleans loses or ties, and they're in. Same thing. Tampa Bay could tie too. They can clinch a playoff berth with a Minnesota loss or tie, Philly loss or tie, Minnesota loss or tie, Dallas win or tie, or Minnesota loses or ties. Dallas clinches at least a tie in strength of victory tiebreaker. Alright, no. So Tampa Bay, LA Rams, Dallas, and Arizona. Can all those 4 teams have to do is get a win, a W, over the weekend, which is highly plausible. And then the NFC would have 5 teams clinched. 3 would be division winners, the North, East, and South, while Arizona and LA are fighting out in the West. Man, I think I got 98 yards. Oh! Whoops. Sorry about that. If that was Jonathan Taylor, he would have been gone. Man, some of these. So yeah, there's your playoff scenarios. AFC, what did I say? They could have 3 teams. Kansas City, New England, and Tennessee, and they could all win their division too, with just wins and a couple other teams losing.
Now they can breathe a little easier, some room to operate as they've got it 1st and 10 now out past the 20. This is counter.
Whew.
And he finds some space.
And in a little bit, we'll be diving into week
He's brought down there by Kenny Moore.
week 16 matchups and my picks for the. Yeah, I guess that's an upset. Yeah, right now, all Arizona just needs to control that clock. Make that go away.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and turn his legs for a really nice pickup.
To the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, a give to counter. And he'll get this up to about the 40. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on 1st down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They fake the handoff. Now Murray.
Woo. See, that's
Hopkins.
that's the one thing with Madden though, is like the rosters aren't always updated, and it's like you don't know who's going to be in and out. And I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is a difference maker. And I mean, he's not going to be playing this weekend, so it's going to make a little bit of difference.
Really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Now from Colts territory. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. They'll run on 1st down. Connor. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves and start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. 5 yards remain on 2nd down. Again, it's Connor.
Oh, he's gone. That's touchdown. Jeez.
And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. James Conner, his 2nd touchdown of the night. Well, the Cardinals push further out in front.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical, that's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away.
See, this is the difference, though. This is the Arizona team that we saw in the first 7 weeks in my mind.
Give yourself an advantage.
In the last 7 weeks, isn't. Because, you know what, they are 10-4. First 7 weeks, 7-0. They are 3-4, 6. And obviously the opposite with Indianapolis. You know, first 7 weeks, they were what? They were 2-5. Let's see, what were they? What was Indianapolis the first 7 weeks? First 7 games, I should say, because you can't say first 7 weeks. You're very near.
After the touchdown, now is Prater to kick.
But I will say I do need Prater to have a hell of a game. Okay, so let's see. Indianapolis. They were 0-3, 1-3, 1-4, 2-4, 3-4. So they've gone 5-2 in their other their next 7 games. But anyways, like I was saying, I need. Okay. Nobody cares about anyone else's fantasy football team or league or whatever, unless you're in it. And so forth. Oh, man, Taylor could have been gone. He would have been high-stepping in the end zone. But what's my roster update? He's questionable with an illness. Great. Yeah. But I've been playing Yahoo Fantasy Football for 15 years. I don't know, 2005, 2006. I would have to look for exactly. Well, there we go. We're going to the 4th.
Here in this Thursday night matchup, you are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Really? 2004 was my first year? Dang, I'm nearing 20 years of playing fantasy football on Yahoo. And the only reason why I did that is because, what was it? It was free. But it wasn't until 2010 I won my first league championship. But anyways. This year, Yahoo's like, you're gonna finish. Oh, jeez. Yahoo, like I did fantasy live fantasy draft, which I've been doing for the last several years, and Yahoo's like, you're gonna finish 0-15. You're not projected to win any games. The players you picked and their projected stats compared to the other teams and their projected stats, you're gonna go 0-15. And like, screw you, Yahoo. You don't know for a fact how these players, I trust these players, and when I make the playoffs, we'll see who's laughing. And of course, I start off 2-7. But then I got hot, got a 6-game win streak, and boom, I'm in the playoffs. But of course, I have a handful of players. I have my kicker is on COVID. I should start him. I could start both.
That'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the fourth.
Yahoo Fantasy Plus. Yeah, I ain't paying for that.
On first down.
It's a horse apiece. Do I start Green Bay's defense over Cleveland or New England's defense over Buffalo? And we all know how New England defense did last time against Buffalo. But this time, it's in New England. Last time it was in Buffalo. I have no one playing tonight. I gotta stay in here anyways. We gotta get close to our pickups. We'll see how this drive goes, and then we'll take a look at the games for this upcoming weekend. Because if Arizona gets a touchdown here, game is over. It's put away. Indianapolis will be playing. Hurt will be playing. I mean, they're already down by 21. And they can't rely on the running game anymore. Unless you turn the pass game into a dump pass. And use Taylor's speed to. Oh.
Green brings it in and stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3.
And of course today I'm using my brand new spanking computer, have new setup. Hopefully you work. I'm afraid to touch it because I had some issues. I had a computer not even for a full week, and it started acting up.
On the ground with a tight end, and they'll get him down just shy of the goal line at about the
So
1. He'll get 2 out of that run.
hopefully, I cross my fingers.
You can go wrong when you call a play like this down in the red zone, but that's where you appreciate this from your head coach. He's not afraid to trust his guys to do the right thing, and as a player, that means an awful lot.
We got a second goal.
From the 1.
Oh, he was stopped yet again. Oh.
Calling a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
That didn't just feel like good defense there. That felt like pride, didn't it? He's already gotten into the end zone twice trying to get
Let's see how they do last week. I went 10-6. So not so bad. I thought the Bears would pull up the upset. I thought Tampa Bay would beat New Orleans. Said touchdown Arizona. No. I thought I don't know about that one. I thought Jacksonville might pull the upset. Tennessee just fell to Pittsburgh and Arizona and New England. I got wrong. But anyways, let's let's dive into this. Let's look at the games for this upcoming week. Starting with Thursday Night Football. We have San Francisco at Tennessee. Ooh. We're looking at the games first, then we'll go through our picks. Then on Christmas Day, we have Christmas Day, we have Cleveland at Green Bay, and of course we have this Indianapolis at Arizona. On Sunday, Boxing Day, we have Detroit at early games. Detroit at Atlanta, Baltimore at Cincinnati. That has a lot of playoff implications in. LA Rams at Minnesota, Buffalo at New England, Jacksonville at New York Jets, New York Giants at Philadelphia. Oof. I don't think Philly's going to get that loss this weekend. Tampa Bay at Carolina. LA Chargers at Houston. Late games. Chicago at Seattle. Pittsburgh at Kansas City. Denver at Las Vegas. Washington Sunday Night Football. I've been waiting all day for Sunday night. Washington at Dallas. And Monday Night Football, the hopefully last game of the week, is on the 27th. We have Miami at New Orleans. So we scroll back up. We look at Thursday Night Football. San Francisco at Tennessee. Two teams tracking in opposite directions. If Tennessee had Derrick Henry, I would easily jump on Tennessee. But even when they had Derrick Henry, they had some bizarre losses, like the New York Jets. Oh, he's out of bounds. Let's see if they review that. Let's see if Arizona challenged that. His foot was out of bounds. Yep, they're challenging. We're skipping this. We already saw this toe stepped out of bounds. San Francisco, though, on the other hand, they're getting healthy. They're tracking upward. So I gotta go with the 49ers for Thursday night's game. Christmas Day, we have Cleveland at Green Bay. I'll give you one guess who I'm going to pick. Let's be honest. Who do you think I'm going to pick? Green Bay or Cleveland? Give me the Packers. Now this game, Indianapolis at Arizona. This is very similar to Tennessee and San Francisco. Both teams trending in opposite directions. Indianapolis stock is going up. Arizona stock is going down. Okay? And it depends on how healthy Kyle Murray's ankle is. Now, we see how no injuries, everyone's healthy here, and Arizona's just taking it to Indianapolis. And how the season started, yes, I would say Arizona would dominate and beat the living crap out of Indianapolis, even with Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. Jonathan Taylor has had a great game in the year, but when they've fallen behind, they can't rely on the run game. Unfortunately, this is just a video game, and this is just a simulation. And I have to go with the hotter hand, which is Indianapolis. And my boy that played at UW in Madtown, I gotta go with Indianapolis here. I think Indianapolis, on the backs of Jonathan Taylor, unless he gets hurt somehow, or gets COVID, or whatever, unless barring from a major injury, I have to go with the Colts. I think the Colts are going to run wild all over Arizona, and Arizona's going to be like, wow, what's been happening? You know, we were 7-0. We've gone 3-5 in our last 8 games. We gotta turn this around. We had number 1 seed. We had the first round bye. We had a division, and now it's just slipping through our hands. You know, so I have to go. I'm going with Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis can go into Arizona and take care of business if they play smart and run the ball. But if they fall behind early and Arizona can actually jump out to a lead and do what they're doing now, okay, yeah. But give me Indianapolis. Excuse me. Okay, Sunday's games. Sunday, noon, Detroit at Atlanta. This is a tricky one. I mean, like I said before, Detroit's record does not really reflect on how good they really are. Unfortunately,
So the ball down to the 16 here for first and
we
10.
don't hand out sympathetic wins
On
or
first
moral
down,
victories or
it's
whatever.
Connor.
Okay.
Maybe a measure of
Yes,
revenge
they've only
there.
won
He's
2
had his
games.
way in this
They
one,
should have
but
won
this
at
time
least
they get
3
it behind
more,
the line.
maybe 4 more in my opinion.
Using that size to force his
They
way
should
in
have
there
beaten
and
the
make the
Vikings
stop
the
behind
first
the
time
line.
round. The Bears on Thanksgiving. They could Baltimore if the refs just saw the delay game, and Pittsburgh
So
instead of a
their
tie.
task a little bit more
Okay,
difficult now. Second
so
and
you
13
take
with the
those,
backing up on.
add them to the other 2. They could
To
easily
throw,
be
it's Murray. Dancing to his left. And he'll
what,
take this
6
down the line of scrimmage as
and
he slides to a
8,
hold. They'll wind up getting 4 there on his
and in
own.
the thick of
Good
things.
relief
So I
on
mean,
that with a
if
third down
if
situation.
Detroit can turn things around next season, you know, they could be a potential playoff team. Make the playoffs for the first time in since what was it? 2016.
The Cardinals on third
2016
down.
was the last time
They've won 6 of their 8
they made the
tries.
playoffs, which sounds about right.
This is 3rd and 9. They'll toss this out right for Connor. And he won't be close to a first down. As
Because
he
that's
runs
when Detroit's like, yeah, Cardwell, you had 3 winning seasons, made the playoffs twice, but it's not good enough. So we're sending you to the curb. And then they've been since. But anywho, and Atlanta's been tricky. I know Atlanta's the home team, and I think just maybe Detroit is they got that spark lit underneath them. So give me Detroit.
And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's all.
Okay, Baltimore
Well, he was a spectator
at Cincinnati.
in this game. This is his first field goal opportunity.
This is another tricky one. It's at Cincinnati.
He's able to
When Cincinnati went to Baltimore early in the season, they destroyed them. They destroyed Cincinnati. But that was when Cincinnati was hot. Okay? And if Baltimore did not do some bonehead plays twice in the last 3 weeks, they will have won 2 extra games, potentially. And instead of, I think, both teams being 8-6, Baltimore could be 10-4. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. So, a big, huge divisional matchup in Cincinnati. Lamar Jackson looks like he's going to miss another game. But, hey, with their backup, Tyler Huntley, we'll see him firsthand playing against Green Bay. You know, he's a scrambler. That's a plus, just like Lamar Jackson. So, he doesn't see anything. He doesn't find Andrews. He'll just get up and run. And 3rd time's a charm, in my opinion. 3rd time's a charm as a starting quarterback. And did he win the first time? I forget if he won the first time playing for Lamar or not. And it doesn't really matter. But I think Baltimore can head into Cincinnati and take care of business. Cincinnati, they had issues out west against Denver, but they won. But yet, I don't know now. Once I think about it, man, I'm flipping. No, I'm sticking with Baltimore. I forgot that Baltimore's defensive backs are all riddled. And you have Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. But I think Baltimore can get it done. This is a gut feeling that Baltimore, as long as they don't go for a bonehead play and say, let's go for 2 to win at the end instead of earlier or whatever. But I'm going with Baltimore. Something tells me Baltimore. LA Rams versus the Vikings. Give me the Rams. I ain't going to pick Minnesota. And how many games Minnesota has choked away this year? I mean, Minnesota, if they didn't choke away, like, well, you know, the loss to Detroit. When they started, Minnesota started season 0-3. They were 1-3. Oh, go! But as long as the referees don't play a key factor, I take the Rams over Minnesota. But who knows in this scenario, you know? Who knows in this scenario? I'm taking the Rams. Minnesota could still pull off the victory, keep their playoff hopes alive, and potentially have a tiebreaker with the Rams for that wild card. New England, Buffalo. I'm leaning towards New England, and if they do what they did last time, 2 weeks ago on Monday night, this is the one thing I hate with the scheduling. Okay, you play 3 teams twice. There's no need to put a game between each other and make them play each other twice in 3 weeks. Okay? Or be like what they did with the Washington team. They make them play Dallas and Philadelphia 4 of the last 5 weeks of the season. So stupid. Space them out more, you know. But I think New England is the better team, but yet, who knows? It just depends. Buffalo just saw them a few weeks ago. New England, it was a windy day, I think. Was it windy? Or neither was windy. Mac Jones only completed 2 passes and attempted 3. I think the over-under is going to be over. He's going to have more passes than he did next time around. But so I think New England can get the win. They'll find a way. Okay. Jacksonville at New York Jets. The real question is, does Jacksonville tank to get the #1 pick once again? Or do they play for their interim coach and try to get the win? I say they tank and the Jets win. Oh, was that a catch though? Was that really a catch? I don't think that was a catch.
And I don't know that fumble's going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
So yeah, give me the Jets over Jacksonville. New York Giants at Philadelphia. Give me the Eagles. Plain and simple. How they made that comeback over Washington, keeping their playoff hopes alive. Give me fly, Eagles fly. Tampa Bay at Carolina. Well, it depends. Does Tampa Bay have anyone to catch the ball for them or run the ball? Well, they got Martin, right? Tampa Bay took a huge hit, losing 3 of their big threats on the offense with, was it Evans, Godwin, and Fournette. And I mean, they still have got Gronk. Antonio Brown should be coming back soon, right? Their other running back isn't it Martin? He was halfway decent, and they just need to step it up. When you're playing at Carolina, yeah, I know you're playing divisional foe, but I don't see Carolina somehow pulling off the miracle and beating Tampa Bay. They're not New Orleans. They're not who dat. So give me Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay gets the win.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case. Murray now to throw.
And he's running for it. Stay in bounds. Last of the noon games, LA Chargers at Houston. Give me the Chargers. You would think, but you never know. Excuse me. Late game, Chicago at Seattle. Whew. I mean, if the Chicago team that showed up at Green Bay 2 weeks ago would just show up every week, the first half team, I should say, the team that showed up in the first half at Green Bay 2 weeks ago would play like that every single week, boom, they would win. This is a tough one. I'm going with Seattle just because they're the home team. Same thing with Pittsburgh at Kansas City. Give me the Chiefs. They will win their 8th in a row and make the playoffs. Pittsburgh, we'll see, right? Denver at Las Vegas. This is a toughie. I mean, the Raiders pull out the win at the last second against the Browns, but Denver, they're also fighting for. Sorry. They're fighting for a non-losing season and playoff spot too. But give me the Raiders. Give me the Raiders. Then Sunday Night Football, Washington and Dallas. I mean, Washington might pull up the upset, but if it's anything like last time these two teams meet, give me Dallas. Give me Dallas. And Monday Night Football, Miami and New Orleans. Give me Miami. Miami's been running hot. They haven't lost. They were 1-7. They've won 6 in a row. Let's make it 7 in a row. Give me the Dolphins over New Orleans. 24-17, I think is going to be the final of that game. And let's say this is going to be. Yeah, sure.
Calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch just inside the 15-yard
Ooh.
line. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And the Colts are going to take over, albeit deep in their own territory.
Sure, something like that. I don't care.
Let's just be frank. They're playing.
So, yo, those are my picks. Let's see. Hope I can go 16-0.
Because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it because
And I already tell you this. Next week, we're doing Arizona at Dallas. Huge playoff implication. So we're going to see Arizona yet again next week. And so I'm just going to. Obviously, man loves Arizona. They think, I'm pretty sure Indianapolis is going to score more than 14 points. I think they're going to get the win. I think they got the hot hand. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's just end this. There's the sack, fumble. He ripped the ball away from him. Wow. He just basically ran up to him and said, "Hey, Carson Wentz, can I please have the football?" And Carson Wentz, "Here you go, since you asked so nicely." He's like, "Thank you." And Arizona's just going to take a knee. Just take a knee. Don't run the ball. Just take a knee. Indianapolis isn't going to call timeout. Just don't score the ball. There they go. And that should do it. Carson Wentz like, man, he had so nice manners. He was very nice. He does not need to snap it, and I hope he doesn't. There you have it. Men. Wow. With all the interceptions in the first half by Kyle Murray to Indianapolis, you would think this would be a much closer game, but it wasn't because Indianapolis did the same thing. Carson Wentz fumbled the ball early. They jumped out to a 14-0 lead. I think it was 21-0 at one point. It was 21-14, I think, was the closest it was. 3-1 the interceptions, yeah. But there you go. There you have it. Some of the stats. Well, there you go. Anyways, there's the dub. So, there you go. Man's predicting Arizona gets the victory over Indianapolis in dominating fashion, 45-14. Well, I think Indianapolis is going to pull out the victory with Jonathan Taylor just running wild out there in the desert. But we'll see. We'll see what happens on this Christmas. And for that, I wish everyone happy holidays, Merry Christmas, a Festivus for the rest of us, and so forth. Enjoy your holidays. Have a good time. Enjoy some football, right? And until next time, adios, muchachos.